Good evening and welcome to this particularly stormy evening, at least in person. Project, I will send you another invite ASAP. But yeah, we are here at the Japanese circuit rather of Suzuka. So we will be seeing how the guys go through there. Obviously, Suzuka being the upcoming race in the real life F1 as well. So I'm sure everyone is looking forward to it. Rain forecast for the real life F1, but not entirely sure what the forecast is looking like for our game this evening. We are just waiting for the cars to head out on track and then we'll go live, and I'll send out that invite at the same time. To those of you who have joined us, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. I see there are 3 follows between the last stream and now, so thank you so much for joining us and joining us on the channel. Just waiting for everything to load up. Okay, so that's up and running. We've got overcast weather at the moment, and we'll see what happens when we come to the race. And let's head across to the track now. Alrighty, so I'm going to have a look and see how my telemetry is doing. I've had to reinstall it after one of my, or the PC that ran the telemetry server actually ended up crashing and dying. So that was unfortunate. I had to reset up from scratch. Project, I'm not seeing you online. I know Kickstar was supposed to be joining us, so let me just send him another invite. But yeah, project, you're not showing online. Please just double check and I'll invite you as soon as you show online. So yeah, a couple of things went horribly wrong on my side. Obviously, as I said, the telemetry server managed to die, so that was less than ideal. Let's go and see what Marsh is doing. He is quite quick out here, as you're actually out on an outlap already, so a couple of fast people out there and Demo actually leading the way. So we'll check now. We'll see how they do on this magnificent circuit. Obviously, there we go. Obviously, the circuit, a Honda test circuit originally, which they then opened up to Formula One, and it's been an absolute staple on the calendar since then. And it's been one of those circuits that just entrenched itself in everyone's minds. Obviously, a very unique layout in the figure 8. The fact that half of the corners are heading clockwise and the other half heading anti-clockwise, which always gives it a nice flavor, and a couple of corners which are absolutely famous. 130R, which is the one that's coming up right here. You can see at full tilt, you have to take it. And then the Casio Triangle, which is this little chicane over here, which leads you onto the main straight. And let's see how Demo does on this run. As you can see, my turn indicator does not appear to be working. That's one of the things that that I have been struggling with. Certain parts of the telemetry just don't seem to be working the way that they should. Not entirely sure why that is, but we'll see how that goes. If I can just turn off, can I turn it off from here? No, it doesn't look like it, unfortunately. So, yeah, a couple of small issues here and there that I'm experiencing with. This is actually a new version of the telemetry as well. Thank you, Kit, for the hydrate, and that actually reminds me my camera is also dead, which is always fun. So please give me a sec. Let me see if I can fix my camera at the very least, and we will get right back to it. I see that is over there. Yeah, unfortunately, I had to try and very quickly fix a whole bunch of things, and unfortunately, whenever that happens, things go slightly wrong. So, one of those times, yeah, so that's definitely running, but that won't open. It looks like Demo has backed out of his lap, so that's unfortunate for him. We'll have to, I'm not entirely sure what happened there because I've been trying to fix the camera as the storm rages in the background. So let me just see if that will work now. I've just terminated the task and let's see. Yes, there we go. That is looking good. And that is looking fine. And we now have a camera. So thank you for the hydrate. Project, drop out and restart your game. I will re-invite you once you have done so. But yeah, so a couple of small issues. As you can see, the turn display is not working correctly. I don't think I can turn it off, unfortunately. Let me just see. Got a control panel here. I'm just seeing if there's anything around the turn display itself, but unfortunately it doesn't look like it. Wait, maybe. No, I don't see the turn display anyway, so I don't know if maybe they've done away with it or what in the newest version, but yeah, this is the new version of the telemetry. I haven't been able to test it because everything went pear-shaped. So yeah, unfortunately one of those things. Don't know exactly what will be working, what won't be working, but it looks like the turn display definitely will not be working. And unfortunately there's no way for me to turn it off either, so it's just going to be there on the screen, which is unfortunate. Okay, so a couple people heading out or running out there on a lap. Keycracker, the only one currently on the track at the moment who has not managed to set a lap. Project has been a victim of EA's terrible lobbies. And so I'm going to send him another invite, but unfortunately his car has been retired, so he's going to start from the back of the grid, which is really unfortunate for him, and still not showing online, so just going to give it a couple of seconds to get back online. So Keycracker goes up into 11th place. As you can see, Demo, not a representative lap. He's currently going through the S's, the magnificent Sector 1, absolutely brilliant part of the track to drive, and if you get it right, it just feels so incredibly smooth. And unfortunately Demo not getting it quite right at the end of the S's themselves, heading off into the gravel. And at turn, what is that, turn 7 technically? No, it's actually an unnamed turn, an unnumbered turn as well. So technically it's sort of an extension of turn 7, but it's not quite turn 8. Turn 8 is the first of the Degner curves. Demo obviously going through there, having to pick up the car again and try and get through. Project just trying again one more time. Let's have a look. There you are, invited. So yeah, let's hope that you can get back in. Gokes out on an out lap and currently gearing up for a lap. Currently going through the Casio Triangle. Project, please double check your telemetry. Seeing that the telemetry is incorrect, so I just need to send a couple of messages quickly just to people who have their telemetry incorrect. Okay, please just... Okay, no, I think it might have just been because you were disconnected, so I see it has come up now. So just sorting a couple of things out, and then I'll be right back. That was a little bit frustrating. I've just had a whole speech about the fact that looks like everyone has been told to just double check their telemetry. Project has come right, but we're still waiting for the Alpine of Santa to show up on the telemetry properly. So we'll keep an eye on that, but for now, so far, so good. And I'm just keeping an eye on one more player who doesn't appear to have their telemetry correctly. Possibly two. So let's go have a look here. No, it does look like it's just one player. Humid, actually, with his telemetry not showing up properly, which is a little unfortunate. That is going to be something that he will definitely want to check. I'm pretty sure he is doing fairly well on the standings, so definitely not what we want. Project, no, your telemetry is looking fine. So it's just humid now. Alrighty, so Humid actually on that note starting his run right at the moment, so let's go on board with the Halo HUD. The Halo HUD is working. You can see the turn counter even on the Halo HUD isn't working on the left hand side. Not entirely sure what that happened. Mystic Wind, that is one of those things that happens. The game seems to be incredibly buggy at the moment, between lobby bugs as well as just general sort of like technical bugs. Like, we've had a whole bunch of people get disqualified for no good reason. We've had people being disqualified under the safety car and virtual safety car when just in general when they've been driving fine. I've actually been watching one person while they were heading around under the virtual safety car, definitely sticking to the delta and still getting disqualified. So the game is very broken at the moment. I think they're not really bothering with making sure it works with the new game coming out so soon. So yeah, lots of weird issues going on at the moment as we see Humid getting a little bit squirrely coming out of that corner. But managing to keep hold of it, that is the second part of Spoon that he just almost lost it through. Now going through 130R, full speed as you can see, and down into the Casio triangle. Heavy on the brakes, locks up the inside tire, manages to make the second apex, but didn't have the wide opening that I imagine he would have hoped for. Comes across the line as close to that wall as he possibly could, and still stays in second, 126.892. So I don't think it was his best lap. I don't actually see who's got the fastest first sector of anyone, but it does look like Azure does have it. I know he does love this track as well. So yeah, that is probably held by Azure. Those curves being somewhere that he he knows them incredibly well. KQ Microstatic currently in third, coming into the pits. Marsh in fourth in the 1 Alpine. Santa is showing his telemetry correctly, so thank you for double checking that. We'll see if Humid's telemetry comes up correctly on his next run. I'm sure there will be 4 minutes and 50 seconds to go in this session as we see Marsh going out. KQ Microstatic, as I said, in the pits. Wormpuzzle in fifth. Warak sixth. Jumping Jack in seventh. Then we've got Gokes, Italian Legend, and Santa, our top 10, and it's Kickstar, Keycracker, Demo, Project, and Mystic Wind, the top 15. So we've got 15 drivers on track, which is always good to see. I think Azure is closest to starting his next lap. Actually, no, Jumping Jack is. So let's ride along with him. What's the rain forecast? Let's have a look. Bringing up the weather now, and it's not actually giving me a forecast. Again, a couple of things are different in this version of the F1 TV overlay, and I'm not 100% convinced that it's actually better. Having a look at the other telemetry that I've got, it looks like it's overcast for the next 10 minutes. I can't see into the race itself, but normally I think it's going to start overcast. There's no real changes in the weather itself. So yeah, it's going to be one of those things. We're all going to be surprised by whatever the forecast is. Let's see if I can actually find it while we're in a little bit of a lull. Jumping Jack coming through Spoon to get his lap key going. He looks like he's doing quite well out there, although he does have the no, I think he's backed out of that. The red lights on the back of his car are flashing, so he has given up on that. Zero going through the hairpin at the moment, so he's heading down towards Spoon. So we're seeing him sort of where we picked up or re-picked up Jumping Jack just now, and you can see that Red Bull is looking planted to the track, throws himself into the first part of Spoon, comes out of the second pass, rides along the curb and practically perfectly to the line on the exit of that corner. Now down towards 130R, gets himself to the right hand side of the track, right onto that line, almost goes onto the grass there, misses the apex a little bit of 130R, so he may have lost a little bit of time there, but we'll see how it is. Going through the Casio triangle, nice and smooth through there, slows through the first part, quicker out of the second part, which gives you a good round down to the line, and 2/10 up on his previous time. So Azure dominating this track. KQ Marcus that are currently out there heading through the first sector, and we'll see how he does. Humid has confirmed he's checked his telemetry, and it looks like it is showing correctly. I can see his tire data and everything, which is what wasn't showing just now. So yeah, thanks to Humid, and let me just let him know that that has worked. Cool, so that has worked, and I have let him know, KQ Mark Aesthetic, on his way around the track to try and get some tire temperature into those tires. The tire's looking quite cold at the moment for him, but that should be fine. So obviously it's still a while before the end of the lap itself. A long straight followed by that rapid corner, and we've seen a couple of crashes in the last couple of years at 130R, which is a little bit unusual, I feel. We've seen a couple of massive crashes going through 130R. I don't know if maybe there's a new bump there that people aren't used to or something, but yeah, I've seen this last year or two, I've seen more crashes and issues at 130R than I have ever before. So yeah, not sure if there is something going on there, but I'm sure we're going to see this weekend and hear with this weekend whether there is something there that is causing that. KK Marcus that again taking a wonderful line through turn number 2, getting all the way out onto that curb, setting himself up for the rest of the S's, and you can see how much speed you can carry through there. See how much speed that you have to carry through there to be able to have a competitive lap time. Coming to the end of sector 1, let's see what his lap time is. It's just under a tenth quicker than his previous lap, which wasn't slow by any means. 31.249, and that is just slower than Humid's time in the first sector. Let's see what he can do as he comes through the hairpin and heads down towards Spoon. What is he going to be able to do here? This is turn 12. It is actually recognized as a turn. This massive long curve that heads into Spoon corner, or the Spoon corners. Oh, and that is just a little bit wide, pushing it just too far, and that is an invalidation for KQ Microstatic at the end of the session as well. So he's not going to be able to run again. Worm Puzzle coming to the end of his lap, coming through the Casio triangle. Let's have a look. His lap is faster than his previous, but only just as he comes across the line. Let's see, 4/10 of a second. So first sector I did actually see, as I said, only just. He did look quite good, and last sector obviously managed as well. Second sector not too much better than what it was previously, but a good run there nevertheless. So Worm Puzzle has come through, and Humid is definitely not on a lap. It looks like that car is trailing grass, so obviously has had a moment somewhere. A little bit unfortunate for him. And now we just need to wait for him to poodle his way back to the pit lane, or across the line, which would be preferable. But yeah, we'll see what happens with him. So, as it stands, and obviously Humid is not going to go any faster, we have Azure out in front, Humid in second, KQ Marcus Static in third, Marsh in fourth, and Worm Puzzle our top 5. And we have Gokes in sixth, a really good showing there by him, Warak, Jumping Jack, Santa, and Italian Legend, our top 10. And that's not the one I'm looking for. I'm looking for that one there. And then Demo, Kickstar, and Keycracker, the top 13. Unfortunately, I didn't catch the gaps before they disappeared, but it looked like they're quite close in the first between the first couple and then another batch a little bit further back. So we should have a couple of little clusters of good racing. KQ Microstatic putting themselves in between the OG guys. Keycracker, yes, indeed, I have let him know as well. So yeah, he does know that his telemetry is fine. So yeah, thank you to you for just asking him to double check that as well. No real incidents there. Obviously, two people getting grid penalties. Warak and Mystic getting grid penalties for a collision. But yeah, it's one of those things. At the moment, the game is just so broken, more so than we've seen previously in this year's game, and it's a little bit frustrating. But you can't really do anything. It is the official F1 game, and that's not going to change anytime soon. Alrighty, so just checking all of the telemetry. All of it looks good. Humid for Minister of Offense. What's he done now? is he bombing people? But we'll see how this race goes. It looks nice and clear. Do we have a forecast? We do not. So yeah, quite a few things broken. I'm gonna have to try and find my old versions of these telemetry applications. Yeah, I'll see what I can do before the next race. As I said, I had to reset up one of my telemetry machines from scratch. It is a much stronger machine now, so I can actually run one of the nicer overlays, which was too much for the previous machine. But a couple of the older things have disappeared, and it's a little frustrating. So, first lap, 5 red lights, and away the guys will go. About a 2 seconds delay between the end of the red lights and the start of the session. Azure takes a good run down into the first place. It doesn't look like anyone has. Let's go have a look there. A couple of people moving up and down, but not too much movement there, as there's a massive crack of thunder in the background. Worm Puzzle getting shuffled onto the grass. Goix managing to make up a position there, up into 5th position. Italian Legend 2 positions on start, and ditto with Project and Mystic. And we'll probably see them move quite quickly. Oh, we have Keycracker, unfortunately, having an issue with the S's, as we see these guys out in front going through here. A little bit of a snap there by Azure, so maybe pushing his tires just a little bit too hard, and we see a Ferrari in the background. I do believe that was Kickstart. There is my number 10, who went a little bit wide there, has compromised his exit, but is he fast enough to hold it through the hairpin? No, it looks like Warak has managed to get through and hold on to the position. So a little bit of movement there. The two Ferraris now riding line astern, but now is when things really start to... Oh, that is very wide there for Kickstar. I don't know if he's got wing damage. No, he does not. So maybe just struggling with the traction in that Ferrari. Azure is still very much out in front. Humid in second. KQ Microstatic in third in the McLaren. Marsh in the Alpine in fourth. He is going to be wanting to get through on KQ as quickly as possible and get up to the other OG guys up in front. I know he enjoys racing them. And that is Project with the spin going into the Casio Triangle. I saw him get past on, who was that? Warak, I think it may have been, who he did seem to get past on, and then a spin occurred. So I don't know if there was maybe contact between him, between the two of them, but that is really unfortunate for Project. He has lost a whole bunch of positions. Marsh actually being held up a little bit here behind KQ Microstatic, and I'm sure he's going to be pushing to try and get through, but there's not really much place to pass. A lot of this track is a run of attrition. Italian Legend just proving my point in the Alpha Tauri, tumbling down the order as he has a moment coming out of the S's, and you can see Marsh is right on top of KQ Microstatic. He's going to be trying to get through as quickly as possible, maybe into the hairpin, doesn't look to the inside, just stays behind for now and takes a slightly tighter line through there. A little bit of contact there as KQ Microstatic gets a poorer exit off the corner, and Marsh tries to move out into him. KQ holds his line. A little bit of contact that was almost a tragic moment, but luckily KQ managing to hold onto it. Marsh managing to get out. Obviously the game does like locking cars together, but not this time. So down towards 130R, not really much of a overtaking taking opportunity into 130R itself. But as you come out of it, if you manage to carry a little bit more speed, you can try and move into the Casio triangle. Marsh deciding he's going to stay behind for now, and KQ holds onto the position for another lap. He has been defending as well, just going a little bit more towards the middle of the track than he might otherwise be doing, and I think that might be helping with... Oh, he has massive pace down the straight as well. Don't know if that was an ERS burn or if that was just a lower downforce setup, which would explain why he is being caught up to by Marsh in the corners. Marsh now under pressure by Wormpuzzle, 0.4 of a second between the two of them. Warrak right behind Demo as well, and whoo, that would have been brave to try and go there, but Warrak going through the first part of the S's almost alongside Official Demo. By the time we joined them, they were just a little bit apart, and I can see Project has actually caught up to the back of these guys as well, so he's going to be frustrated through most of that part of the track there. But we're going to see KK Marcosthetic and Marsh. Oh, that is very close. Human having a bad, an uncharacteristically bad exit off the hairpin, and that has we have a lot of movement going on. It looks like Warrak has managed to get through on Official Demo. I think Mystic had a spin. Yes, he did, through on the exits of the Degners. Project and Santa, no, that's Project and Italian Legend rather, close together on the back of Kickstar. Official Demo is right on the back of Warrak. So a couple of battles to keep an eye on, and I'm going to try and keep an eye on them as best as I can, but there is obviously a lot going on. Marsh currently on the back of KK Marcosthetic. Let's see if this actually works just with the new telemetry. It does indeed. So a couple of things are working better with the new telemetry, but a couple of them just don't seem to be working properly. So yeah, that is going to be fun to use at some point. Kickstar and Italian Legend swapping positions. Italian Legend looked like he may have had a bit of an issue through there. A couple of people with quite massive damage. Muchwind with 21% wing damage on the front left, as well as Keycracker with 45% damage on the front left. So both of them are having issues with the front left wing at the moment. Hi there, welcome to the chat. Okay, so Marsh once again into the hairpin, not quite close enough to go for a move. There was a lockup. I think that was by Humid. So Humid maybe pushing his tires a little bit hard, is starting to find the limits of them. Just looking at the tire temperatures, everyone looks to be behaving themselves at the moment. So it won't be anything like that. So maybe just pushing a little bit hard, braking a little bit late, trying to break the toe to KQ Marcosthetic and Marsh behind. Marsh actually getting a decent run off the line there, but KQ Marcosthetic not doing the same. So a little bit of a difference in their pace down the straight here. Will Marsh be able to do something as they go into the triangle through 130R nice and fast? No one has any issues. KQ Marcosthetic shakes for a defensive move, and Marsh not quite close enough, but definitely was close enough to make KQ wonder if he was going to try something. Goes through the Casio triangle, gets a decent exit out of there. You could see the compromised line he took through the first part to try and improve his run through the second. Humid now a bit of a spectator there as KQ Marcosthetic went to the outside. Marsh going very wide on the entrance to that corner. I wonder if he's trying to cool his tires a little bit. His tires are running a little bit cooler than the guys ahead, so I wonder if he's just trying to cool his tires, make sure that he's got them under him when he manages to get close enough. Tenvo, welcome to the stream. The racing has been close so far, but it is Suzuka. It's a race of attrition. You basically have to try and survive all the way to the end, as we see Humid pushing once again a little bit too hard and losing the rear end. And let's see, does he lock up again into the hairpin? It looks like he may have. So Humid definitely struggling in that Red Bull. KQ Marcosthetic having to check up at going through the hairpin, especially because of the struggles that Humid seems to be having. And it does mean that he is at risk from Marsh. He is having to go defensive every now and then, but he has managed to hold on to the position at the moment, but hasn't managed to catch up to Humid as much as I imagine he would like to. Marsh taking a much wider line through the exit of Spoon there, and you can see the difference in speed as they go down towards 130R. It does look like KQ Marcosthetic has a little bit more speed in that McLaren than the guys around him, and I wonder if he's gone for a different move. Goes to the outside. Is he going to make it into the Casio triangle in front? He does indeed. KQ Marcosthetic up into second place with a very clean pass, and now he will have to try and hold on to that position. DRS now open, probably for both Humid and Marsh, all three of them going to the inside of the track. They will get dirty tires. Marsh making it through on Humid. Humid just has no pace down the straight. And that is really unusual. I don't know if he's got it set up wrong, but he just doesn't seem to have any pace down the straight. None of them really struggling with ERS at the moment. One of them is in a much better position than the others. I'm not going to say which one because that would be strategically a little bit of a faux pas. Italian Legend getting through on Kickstar, and so a couple of races up and down the field. The other guys have spread out a little bit, but this race up in front is looking mega. And, oh, KK Marks that goes a little bit wide through the exit of Degner 2, and that has opened him up to Marsh. Marsh gets through. Humid looks, oh, no, that was just a little bit too much of a late break, and that gives the position back to Humid. Marsh has managed to keep going thanks to the ghost, and KK Mark Static has slowed down and gave them the position. He has basically self-penalized there. He's dropped down to 0.6 of a second, so I don't think they're going to have too much of a problem with that. I doubt I'll see that on the stewards table. But yeah, really unfortunate there for KK Mark Static, but has managed to lose him quite a bit of time, and he now has Worm Puzzle within DRS range as well. He is now trying to cool his tires, possibly overheated the front tires, and that's why he didn't have the braking performance going into there that he expected. Marsh is in third, Humid back up into second, so we're almost back where we were before, except, oh no, Marsh having a moment coming out of the triangle, and that has lost him a position to Worm Puzzle. So Worm Puzzle, who wasn't near this fight just now, suddenly very much involved, and within a second of KK Mark Static. KK Mark Static needs to stay within a second of you. Oh, that is not the way to do it. So these tires seem to be going off incredibly quickly. I'm looking at the tire life itself, the degradation itself. It doesn't look like they're too bad, but these hard tires don't seem to be firing up the way I would expect them to. So I wonder if it's a little bit cooler than the guys expected. Is this going to give me anything useful this time? No, not really. 28 degrees track temperature though, and I think that is lower than what they can normally expect here. KK Mark Static has gotten back within a second of Humid, so he will have DRS if he manages to maintain that gap onto the start-finish straight. A couple of different lines going through the hairpin. That's very normal to see. Worm Puzzle currently in fourth position, again coming out of pretty much nowhere. Marsh trying to catch up, 1.4 seconds back at the moment. He has some work to do. But KK Mark Static has dropped out of that 1 second gap once again. Humid making the most of the moment and has pushed quite hard. You can see the ERS charge light on the back of his car. He is trying desperately to get out of DRS range before the DRS detection zone, which is that line there under the bridge, and he manages to make it through. KK Mark Static will not have DRS this lap, which means Worm Puzzle will be the only one of these three that we saw, these four that we saw fighting earlier who will have DRS. We see, I think that is Mystic Muchwind. There was a blue flag there for a moment, not entirely sure who it was for. That was weird.